panel is going to look at the archaeology, the physical, what we have at Quindaro, what we had, what we hopefully may still have, and what we may be able to work with in the future. It's the shiny object that we want to work with, and it's also key to and linked to the history of Quindaro. This is the actual town site, and as you'll hear Bob Ward talk about it, this is fairly unique in all of Kansas, because it is so primitive and it hasn't been paved over or anything, so it's someone has described it as Kansas's own Pompeii. As the years have gone by, the mudslides and everything, the bluff has come down and covered much of it. It was, I'll give you a quick summary. In the 1980s, it was excavated and these ruins were found, but in the last 30 years, little has been done with them for various reasons. And that's one of the things that we would like to confront today in a cooperative manner. And brush has grown over this area, so if you go out there now, you really have to hunt to find where these archaeological sites are. But we're going to tell you where they are, and we're going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about some of the really exciting things that were found and the significance of those things, including the artifacts that were found out there. And we've got a very, very diverse panel to do that today. I'm just out of order, kind of. I'm just going to start on the left. Bob Ward is the state archaeologist for the Kansas State Historical Society. And the Kansas State Historical Society is now where the 90,000 plus artifacts taken from Quindaro now reside, and are taken care of in a very safe manner, so that nothing has happened to them in the last years. They've been there since about 2006, I think. Seated next to Bob is Larry Schmitz, who was the chief archaeologist back beginning in 1983, 84. Is that about right?
No, yeah,
okay.
84, 85.
Okay, that was brought in to do the excavations out there at the time when there was a requirement that there be at least some finding to see whether or not there was anything of any archaeological significance at the time that there was the contemplation of putting a landfill in that particular area that would have covered up many of the ruins. So it was key, important, urgent, crucial, and he was the man that was called in to do that, to look at the see what significance was there. Sitting next to him is Martin Robinson, who was involved in a number of different community groups at the time. Once there was the controversy over the landfill, it was Marvin, everyone will tell you, that began and stayed with it until the present. Probably no one has a longer relationship with the effort out there than Marvin, and everyone has had a relationship with Marvin in one way or another. He's a great guy. He knows his history out there. He's taken me on several excursions there, and I can't think of a better person to push this project. Next to him is another Larry Hanks. Larry Hanks was working for the, was it Kansas City, Kansas, or was it
It was Kansas City, Kansas.
It was Kansas City, Kansas before unified government, and Kansas City, Kansas was one of the parties that was involved, along with the African American Episcopal 5th District Church, that was looking at whether or not to there was anything out there, or whether if there really wasn't, they were going to do a landfill, and they had an agreement with the Browning Ferris Company that would provide some compensation. So it was important to a number of other entities at this time, when all these crossroads seemed to come, or these roads crossed. Larry was the city planner at the time. He was the one that was involved with looking at that. And the other thing about Larry that makes him really interesting is, as part of his job, he was charged with looking at the history of different sites all over Wyandotte County. If you Google his name, you'll find him associated with a lot of different historic sites, and he's written a lot about them. In fact, Fred Whitehead, I think he's the one responsible for putting together one of the articles, a long article that Larry wrote about Quindaro. So that makes him an expert in why he's on the stand here. On the stand. I would really.
It's early.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to swear you in or anything like that. And then Fred Whitehead, who was a professor in administration at the University of Kansas, has long been a historian and has actually worked with Marvin on a number of community projects, and some on his own, and was very much involved at that time with documenting and leading and being part of some of the efforts to keep this effort at the forefront back in the early stages of it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try to, I'm going to ask everyone to, this long introduction, I'm going to ask you to watch the clock, because what we want to do is we want to save some time for some interaction with the audience that has questions. I want us all to realize that some of us have a little bit of knowledge, some of us have no knowledge, and some of us have a huge interest, everyone in this room, with what was out there and what might be done with it. So we keep it clear, keep it as simple as possible, and let's have a really, really good discussion that's going to lead to where do we go next.